Hello everyone, welcome to my channel FPL Willem. This channel is mainly meant for Fantasy Premier League. I'm gonna show you my first draft of the 2024-2025 season, so let's get into it. First of all, I wanted to tell you guys that I am focusing on a mini league, so I'm not going to focus on overall rank. I often do a mini league with like 8 of my friends. Last time I won it, and I liked it that much that I started actually a channel. So it isn't my native language, as you guys could hear. I hope this is going to be a fun experience the whole season, and I wanted to start off with one of the main guys from last season, and that's Erling Haaland. Obvious choice, I guess. He has been pumped up to 50 million, and his first game is actually against Chelsea, so I don't know if I'm gonna use him if I start him. Reason wise, I feel like he doesn't actually perform against the big teams. Now, I don't know if you can call Chelsea a big team, because the last 2 seasons they weren't the biggest hauls for them. So I'm expecting him to put up a lot of more goals against Ipswich Town and West Ham United and Brentford. Those are after Chelsea, so I do hope he scores a lot more, and maybe even against Chelsea he gets at least 1. So next up is the goalkeeper. The reason why I started Haaland, because he was an obvious pick and I wanted to keep it a bit more exciting for the rest of the team, because not every player in this team is going to be an obvious pick. The performance of last year, like Palmer, are pumped up instead of 5 million, that they started off to 10.5 million. But I am going to kick it off with Vlekken at goal. Vlekken, of course, the goalkeeper of Brentford. He kept 7 clean sheets last season. He does get a lot of shots against him, so he does get a lot of save points, which will add up to bonus points. Defenders and goalkeepers now do have a -4 in bonus points if they get a goal against them, but I expect a lot from Vlekken. Mostly the reason I pick him is because of that 4.5 mil mark, because I am going to be struggling with money, but I hope Vlekken will be a good choice near the future. The second pick for me is Sanchez, actually the player or the goalkeeper from Chelsea. It's never a good idea to have an attacker and a goalkeeper from the teams that play against each other, but I feel like the run-up of games for Sanchez is actually a great run-up. His first game is Manchester City at home, but afterwards he has Wolves, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth and West Ham United, and I do think those are great games. It's not certain Sanchez will start, that has to be told as well. There is a chance Petrovic will start, but they are both 4.5 million, so I think they're ideal. So I basically just watch the first games and then pick your keeper. Moving forward to the defenders, I will be putting in Burn in my team. Oh, I have to put it on all, and I will put in then Burn in my team. Reasoning is that I would have liked Botman, but the reason I didn't pick him is because he's injured, apparently, didn't know, but looks like he's out till December, at least they say he is out till, yes, back 28th December with a knee injury. So the other options are Trippier, but that's 6 million, and I'm not sure about the last defender for Newcastle. So a 4.5 million Newcastle defender with the games against Southampton, Bournemouth, Tottenham, Wolves and Fulham isn't the worst idea. So I think it's a great option, a valuable option to choose him. Next up is our big man Virgil. I am kind of into minds in putting in Robertson or Virgil. Robertson is the same amount. Difference is, of course, Virgil is more of an aerial threat, but not that often, and Robertson does put in a lot of balls in the box if he plays. Last year there was another guy, and I don't know his name. I will put him in the video if I remember his name after this session. But it's gonna be one of those 2 guys, because I can't miss out on the run of fixtures from Liverpool against Ipswich Town, Brentford, Manchester United, which they always play well. Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth. That's a really great 5 games, so I can't miss out at least on one Liverpool defender. Next up is our boy Mikolenko. Reasoning for him is cheap. Everton plays with Sean Dyche a defensive style. And with the first game, Brighton over Albion, afterwards Tottenham, Bournemouth, Aston Villa, and Leicester City. I can switch him off with the defenders that will come up after this one, but I feel like he's actually an attacking threat as well. Coming up next is our Manchester United player Diogo Dalot. Actually, it's Dalot indeed. Reasoning for this is actually reasonably decent game fixtures. He has a threat for throwing in the ball in the box. Didn't know who else to take from Manchester United, but I felt like I had to take on basically because of the run of fixtures. Dalot, 5 million. Not that much to say about him. Next up in the defense, my last defender, it is gonna be Saliba. Reasoning for Saliba. Last year was insane for the defense of Arsenal, and I expect a lot of the same. He is 6 mil, and I know the games aren't that great that I have the first game, but it's just incredible the defending they have against everyone. Even Manchester City, they held on a 0-0. And I expect even against Aston Villa, Tottenham, Brighton, which are the next upcoming games, that they don't concede that much, and Saliba actually has a aerial threat. I guess Gabriel would have been. It's a toss-up between which one of those, and I could switch it up basically because of the next couple of games. But I think it's gonna be Saliba. At least one defender from Arsenal is gonna stay at my team. Next up is our boy Bruno Guimaraes. The reasoning here for this one is basically kind of the same as Burn. He has the same. Of course, the same teams he has to play against, and he is kind of cheap. Gordon is 1 million more, and it didn't quite fit in this team. And I did search up the new rule. Says every foul you get is a bonus point extra, or not a bonus point, but well, the style it works. And Bruno actually has the most fouls won last season out of any player in the Premier League. So I guess it's a one-up on that part. And he did actually score a couple of goals at the end of last season, which helped me winning my mini league instead of picking Gordon. But it's a toss-up between them. But basically, because he's 1 million less, I picked him out. Then next up, I went with basically Eze, a player from Crystal Palace. I guess most of you guys know him already, not them. He's one person. Reasoning behind this is I think he gets the penalties. Olise might leave, and if you saw Hutchinson, don't know how you pronounce his name, when he left, Eze and Olise came back, and then they started to play incredible. Crystal Palace at least. I was one of the lucky guys who got that free hit in I think it was game week 24, who got like 120 points. Instead of doing it last season at, what was it, round 19 or something. And I got incredibly lucky, and that's basically why I won my league. But as incredible stats, incredible player. I think he's on penalties, not sure. Don't know much more about to say. Next up, I've maybe done one unexpected one. I'm basing this off the games that he has to play in the first 5 games, and that's Morgan. Oh, I guess it's not Morgan. It's Gibbs-White. Morgan Gibbs-White, I guess. Reasoning for this is, well, he got a decent amount of goals last season. He got 5 out of 37. Don't know if that's a reasonably big amount, to be honest. And he provided 7 assists. He also has some successful dribbles, and he has at least a threat. He is also on penalties. First I thought it would have been Wood, but he wasn't. It's Gibbs-White, so I would take that. Also, let me just check this out real quickly. Yes, He has a decent fixtures ahead. First game is against Bournemouth. Second game is against Southampton. Third game against Wolves. Then Liverpool, of course you don't want to play him then. And then Brighton, Hove and Albion. So he has the potential to score a few goals. That's why I always avoid the players from, well, bottom side teams. Except maybe Mikolenko. And I do take a punt on them in the midfield or the forwards. Up next are two players I am not totally convinced about. First player is McAllister. Basically I needed the funds and 6.5 million is alright. He took some free kicks. He has the decent fixtures coming up against Brentford, Manchester United, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth. Oh, don't forget Ipswich as the first game. So I think there's at least potential. I don't think he's like the attacking threat like Cody Gakpo or Luis Diaz, of course, but they are attackers. But I think there are assist potentials for this guy. And next up was my boy Foden. Oh, not Foden. Foden. The only reason I'm just not sure is because the 9.5 mark. I am gonna put him in for now. If there is a need to get some funds, this is probably gonna be the guy I'm gonna, well, get lost, or maybe Haaland. I think it's alright to not put Haaland in your team. It saves a lot of money, and you could basically do a lot more than with Haaland. With Foden, I think there's not really need an explanation. A lot of goals. Last Premier League player of the year. Not much to say about him. Second to last player for me is Alexander Isak. What the fuck, Willem? What are you talking about? Alexander Isak. Reasoning for him: 21 goals netted, 21 goals all over the competitions for Newcastle. That means Champions League as well. He has a solid amount of assists as well. Basically has a solid run-up, as I told you guys, with Southampton, following up, and some solid games behind that against Bournemouth and Wolves. Well, 20 goals scored. What else do I need to say about him? And the last one is actually a toss. My last pick is actually because of my funds. I only have 5.5 left. João Pedro, solid player, is on penalties. He missed his last one, but he scored immediately after last. I don't know if you guys could remember. I am kind of worried about his minutes. Last season he was getting substituted with Ferguson a lot, and he didn't always play. But he was even when he came on later, he was quite a threat. Not sure if I will keep him, but I had to put someone in, a cheap attacker, and that's basically the same with Flecken or Sanchez. I would have liked Raya or a 5 million keeper, but this is just my first draft, so I hope you guys like it. So I do want to show you what game week 1 would be looking like if I would have started starting XC. This would have been like a Flecken on goal, Virgil, Burn, Saliba. I guess logical. Could have been Dalot instead of, I don't know, Burn or Saliba. I guess I do trust a Liverpool defender against Ipswich. Midfield would be Bruno, McAllister, Eze, Foden. Don't know why it comes up to mind, but Dalot could be for Foden as well. Gibbs White. Attacking, of course, Haaland and Isak. Not that much to talk about. Then game week 2, it would be switching up from Flecken to Sanchez. Obvious reasoning is Liverpool and Wolves. That's an easy choice. Defense looks solid again. Midfield would be decent. If you look at my bench, I guess that's easier to say. If you look at my bench, that's why I don't choose them. I am always kind of more of a fixture guy than a form guy. Haaland, I expect a lot against Ipswich. Reasoning is he is more. I feel like, and maybe this is gonna hurt, but I feel like he's more a small game player. He gets his stats up against the likes of Ipswich and maybe Southampton, or I guess West Ham United that he plays next, and then often against like an Arsenal that he's gonna play in game week 4. He's gonna slack a little bit, but Don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. And on the last game week, or at least the game week 3, I'm gonna show you. No, I'm not gonna go further because probably I'm gonna put in some transfers then. I do find it incredibly important to not use your transfers the first 3 game weeks, or at least 2 game weeks, so you get at least 3 transfers on game week 4. It's a toss-up between Flecken and Sanchez. Reasoning for Flecken is it's against a new Premier League side against Southampton. And I feel like last season Chelsea wasn't defensively strong. They were attacking strong, but they weren't defensively strong. So basically that's why Saliba, Virgil, as I said more often, against Manchester United, Liverpool against Manchester United is always something. I don't know why, but Manchester United the last few years they weren't that great. But I'll see how Arne Slot performs against Manchester United. It's a Dutch onderrondje, as they say in Dutch. Midfield, Bruno, McAllister didn't quite know what to do. It's not the most of the greatest picks, but that's what it would be. Gibbs White, Foden, Eze. I think Eze will at least do something against Chelsea. Don't know if he'll score assists, but I think he will be a threat. Haaland and Isaacs, I guess that's not that much to talk about. And the bench, well, you can see it's not anything special. Last stuff I do want to talk about, well, this is my first video. I know it's going to be a lot of mumbling, a lot of stuttering. As I said, this isn't my native language. I do want to give it a shot. I'm just curious how this will work out at the end of the season. Maybe I've grown, maybe I've stayed the same and nobody knows about me. Probably the last, but I hope you guys at least enjoyed it. I do. I like making these vids, or at least this first vid, and hopefully you guys will see more drafts from me and more ideas from me. Talk to you guys later.